bass class.
Everybody's after the shortcut, Jerry. They're after that magic lure, the secret lure. They think that's the answer to success, and in reality, it's going out there and working hard. Some people are a little more competitive than others, and I never give up. You know, if there's 5 minutes left in the tournament, I figure I still got a chance to win it. And I fish to win. At times, I'm probably too intense, and it may actually hurt my success. But I think in order to be successful at anything or to take it to the next level, you really have to have that winning type of attitude.
You caught one out of here, didn't you?
We caught one out of here somewhere right in here. I know we caught one off the head of that.
I thought you caught one right out of the middle of this hole.
Yeah, out of that hyacinth mat right there. It wasn't a real big fish, but it was a nice one. There he is. Yeah. Right where he's supposed to be, Jerry.
Exactly where he was supposed to be. Isn't that something?
That is really a better fish than what I thought it was at first.
Notice I stopped and helped you?
I don't know if you remember, but it wasn't that long ago.
That you
I helped yours,
lift the fish for me, I know.
Come here. I guess the reason is he's not big enough to lift, in your opinion.
It just didn't even get my attention.
Would you let him go for me?
Yeah, I will do that.
Atta boy. Let me get back in there and catch another one. What do you think? 7, 8 pounds?
Yeah. Under
7 or 8 pounds. He might be under 3, to be honest.
Wonder if don't you wonder if that is that same fish?
Oh, I bet it was that same fish that just rolled on that bait earlier.
The Bass Class with Denny Brauer is in session, and it's being brought to you by Evinrude Outboards, powered by fixed fuel injection, and by Daiwa Extreme Performance Tackle.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Jerry. He was right on the end of that.
What is there about that crazy
I
grass?
haven't fished this patch yet, but I will in a second if you unhook him for me.
Let me have him here.
All right, do something. There.
Open your mouth a little bit.
Thank you. It's kind of fun.
What a great sized fish, man.
Aren't those nice fish?
Mm.
They are fun.
I hate to keep saying it, but they fight incredibly
Strong
hard.
fish. A lot of places around the country, that would be a rather large bass right there. Here's just another bite.
Florida's still kind of the home for those old big ones, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got everything it takes to grow giant fish.
I tell you what, I seriously think it's their waters and how fertile they are as much as the growing season.
Yeah, it's got to be a combination of things, and plus the Florida strain of bass naturally gets bigger. Spawning season. Number one choice, lizard. Don't ask me why. Maybe a lizard's a major predator or spawning bass, getting in their nests, etc. Or maybe it's the fact that at that particular time they want a downsized bait that does not have the pressure waves of a jig. When it gets into spawning season, certainly experiment when you're flipping and pitching to shallow water targets, which are places a lot of bass like to nest around, with your soft plastics, especially the lizard. Lizard would be my number one choice. And I'm Texas rigging it just like I would the plastic worm. There's another good choice. Tube baits, especially some of the bigger tube baits. You're Texas rigging those just like you do the other baits. That's was developed as a finesse bait. It's turning into a tremendous flipping bait. And you're seeing a lot of anglers around the country having a lot of success flipping tube baits on heavy line to shallow water fish. It's giving them a totally different look. If your lakes are getting a lot of fishing pressure, that's when you really want to start experimenting with things like this. 10 guys went down that bank with a jig and a pork frog. If I was that 11th guy going down that bank, I'd have something different on, and that might be the different look the fish are after.
Can you make a living in this sport?
You can make a real good living in tournament winnings. The tournaments are getting to that point now. If you're consistent, you can make a good living on the promotional end of things if you're willing to go out there and work with your sponsors, work with the general public, trying to make them better fishermen, and you can make a great living if you can do both. So the sport does have a lot to offer.
Do you think that that the image of, quite honestly, the image of a bass fisherman, I've fought this all my life, has never been great. You know, they seem to think that a bass fisherman is just some old guy that chews tobacco and throws a plastic worm out there. Well, how is that advancing?
You know, golf has always kind of had the elite image, so to speak, the country club set. Fishing, I guess, is always probably going to have somewhat of an image problem, if you want to call it that, but fishing's something that anybody can do. It's open for anybody. It doesn't discriminate whether you don't have any money, whether you got a lot of money. You can go fish off the bank. You can get a $30,000 boat. So in other words, we get a lot more people involved in our sport than what some of these other sports do. So sure, it's going to suffer an image problem from time to time. But as far as the professional end of the sport, I think most of the anglers have realized that there's people watching us. Mm-hmm. There's people that are wanting to emulate what we do. We better clean our act up. We better try to raise the standards, so to speak. And I think it's moving in the right direction.
Oh, I saw the boil. That boil weighed 6 or 7 pounds.
How did I miss that fish?
You know, Jerry, if this was a tournament, I'd never throw in on that fish, but since it's not. And of course, he won't bite. If he'd have wanted it, he'd have definitely. There. Oh, man. What have you got? I don't know what to do here. He's heading for my trolling motor. Oh, what a monster. What a monster fish.
There's nothing to this. Look, one-handed.
There's
one-handed.
Nothing to this fishing, is it?
Whew. Now for my next magical trick.
You don't even want to touch him, do you?
No, I'll throw back in there while you're getting there.
Hey, here's your fish. Here's your fish. At least you can do is let him go.
Yeah, boy.
That is a nice one. He came right back for that bait. You threw in the same place, didn't you?
No,
Oh, you did?
No,
I thought you threw right back.
I threw up in your hole.
Well, you sorry dog. You know you're not supposed to back in.
See, hey, now, let me tell you something. If you hadn't been trying to catch my fish,
I would have caught that one. I got greedy, didn't I?
That's right. Just what you get.
When he come at the trolling motor, I really thought it was over. If I'd have hit the button at the right time, it would have been. God, that was a nice fish, Jerry.
That was, man.
Yeah, you're probably going to throw back in there and catch another one and have me fishing a worm.
Right there. Right there's where it came from.
I knew I should not have left you that spot. I still think that was the same fish.
Think it was, huh?
Oh, yeah, he just, you know, he moved over 3 foot. That's all he did.
3? You'd had to move over 6 foot.
Well, did you see how long it took him to get from there to here?
Yeah, that's true.
You notice how the boat's getting a little closer to the cover?
You know, something we always kind of forget is a small percentage of those fish are the only ones that'll bite.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there could be 15 of them.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. You're a great example, I think, to talk to about this, because you have a son that you've obviously kind of helped along the way. What have you been telling him?
Well, I think I've been able to help him on the business end as much as the fishing end, and he's been around it. He understands the whole sport, but mainly not to get discouraged, because there are going to be bad tournaments. There's going to be things happen on the water that, God, you're going to come in, I can't believe this one got away, or I can't believe that happened. Those are variables. There's some things that we can't control yet in this sport, and you got to learn to deal with that mental part of it, not to get discouraged. I know you'll see an angler come along and win a tournament. Boy, he gets all pumped up. He gets that confidence, and he'll do real well for 2 or 3 more tournaments. And then he has a bad tournament. He loses that confidence, and you may never hear from him again. The key where I think I can help Chad is to have that level playing field. In other words, not get too pumped up when you do good and not get too down when you don't do well. Just hang in there and work hard and try to make good decisions.
Well, you know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good information for anybody that would like to do this. And obviously, it seems to me like there are about as many young kids out there now that would like to be Denny Brauer as there are that want to be Scottie Pippen, although Scottie Pippen makes more money than you. But that's another subject.
We need to change that somehow.
But there are a lot of young kids out there that are wanting to do this now. It's amazing.
It really is, Jerry. I can look back when I started my career about 15 years ago, and we hardly had anybody at a weigh-in. Now we've got huge crowds at the weigh-ins, and we got kids coming up wanting our autographs, which, you know, that's awful gratifying that they think that much of what we're doing to want to get involved and they want to follow in our footsteps. So I think that ensures that our industry as a fishing industry and our sport of tournament fishing's got a great future.
Gonna catch one on this here pitch, Jerry.
He's one of them good ones, Denny. One of them about 3 pounds, 3.5.
Hey, you mean like that one?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
I may have went and gone too big on you, Jerry.
Yeah, you did. That's.
I'm sorry.
Get him around here, man.
Yeah, I think I went a little big on you, but you called him.
No, that's actually what I meant right there.
Oh, okay.
That is.
Well, that's 3.9. He acted like he was 5 or 6 pounds.
Boy, let me
He
tell
was
you.
hooked, wasn't he?
Yeah, you know, you're right. Them guys are trying to spoil.
That fish is as deep as he is long. Man. That's what they're up in here for. Get ready to bed. See, I didn't have to wash my hands.
Okay,
Now, how about a 9-pounder, huh?
Uh-oh.
Got something alive in there?
Yeah. I think that's where we saw that thing.
The snake?
Yeah.
You want me to back you up so you can get a better look?
Right, really check it out good. In fact, I'll just wade over there.
All right, Jerry. Hold him, hold him. Oh!
Don't you love to catch fish on plastic worm when they run before you can even even do anything about them? It's not that big a fish.
Oh, yeah, but that's a nice fish.
Yes, sir.
You had him hooked good. Woo. I saw you go on point like a bird dog there. I knew something was getting ready to happen. Yes, sir.
Hard duty, Denny.
Yeah, he got your attention, and then you got his. Here we go. Yeah.
Man, that ain't the size.
He wanted that jig, but he hit it once, and then he come back and hit it again.
And that's on a jig, huh?
On a jig.
That's great.
Just sitting there, actually making that rattle work, pumping it up and down. A little different look for him. If I had one lure, and one lure only, whether I'm flipping, pitching, or just going fishing, it would be a jig. And I think no matter who you are, you need to have a confidence lure. For you, it may be a spinnerbait. You, it may be a crankbait. You might enjoy fishing gitsets, light line, whatever it is. Find a confidence lure, and that way when fishing gets real tough, you're going to have a bait you believe in. We'll catch one right here, Jerry. I'm going to call this one.
Okay.
It's going to happen. I just get it where I want it. Get down that hole. There's one.
Well, I'll be darned.
Right on the edge. He thinks he's mean. He jumped 2 foot up there. Oh, boy.
That grass didn't completely let us down.
No, it didn't quite. There was one. Are you through?
You got one?
Oh, yeah, that jump just about did you in, didn't it? Whoa. Nothing wrong with that one, Jerry.
Not at all, boy. That's one of those good 3-pounders.
Good solid fish. Yeah, he just about wore himself out with those acrobatics. Isn't it?
How about that?
That's not a bad deal. I think mine's bigger, though.
Oh, much bigger.
I think mine's bigger.
I believe it is.
Huh?
But,
Oh, yeah.
can you believe it? We were 1 point away from leaving that grass.
You know, we have just fished for about 30 minutes without a strike. And bang, bang. I guess you have to get around him.
I
We
guess
may
you
not have
do.
been around any. Obviously, those wanted to bite.
Wasn't it something very aggressive?
Yeah, I don't know how to put it in the words, Jerry. There just seems to be such a fine line at times between success and mediocrity, so to speak, or failure. And I think what you got to keep in mind is you may have been successful last year, but that doesn't mean you're going to be successful next year unless you continue to improve, because your competitors are improving. So you better figure out how to make yourself better. And I think the guys that can do that, continue to improve each year with the rest of the field, can maintain that consistency. And the guys that are relying on what they, did 3 or 4 years ago are going backwards.
Everybody knows that they can't walk out on a basketball court with Scottie Pippen and play basketball. They know they couldn't step in against Roger Clemens and face his best pitch. And it always kind of got to me that for $1,000, anyone in the world can come fish against Denny Brauer. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that makes our sport really kind of exceptional, because it gives so many people opportunities that, just look at all the guys that would love to get into some of them baseball games and get an opportunity to see if we could get a hit off this pitcher or that pitcher. They can get involved in fishing and see how they stack up against some of the anglers that have been doing it for, have been very successful for a lot of years. So I think it's great at times when one of those guys steps up and beats you. You wonder, well, is this fair? Has he paid his dues? But I think that's what makes bass fishing unique.
Do you lose some respect for that? You've got to think about that.
Well, right now, our sport's still at a growing stage, and I think 10, 15 years down the road, there may be some changes. Look at NASCAR, the Winston Cup racing circuit 5, 6 years ago. It's totally different now than it was then. It has really grown. Our sport's going to grow. There'll probably be different levels. But I still think we need that opportunity for the angler that has that dream to somehow get an opportunity to come play on the same field that we're playing.
But wouldn't you like for him to play against you every day? In other words, as I say, it sometimes seems a little unfair that he gets one crack at you.
Well, yes, but day in and day out, your cream usually rises to the top, and the guys that have done it for a lot of years and improving themselves time and time again, they'll be there again.
Why?
I don't know. There's a lot of intangibles that, why is one guy a better pitcher than the other guy? Not everybody's created the same. Some guys have a higher level of intensity on the water. I think awareness level, if you're going to, just pick one word out of the blue, I think your anglers that really have a high awareness level are probably the most successful day in and day out.
You realize the only reason I'm fishing this bank is so that the sun would be right for the camera. Okay, just so you understand that now. There's no fish here, but the sun's right. It makes great TV.
Denny Brauer and a little special education for our own Jerry McGinnis today on the